Now, is it gonna show you starting it and then you sitting down? Alright, well, yeah, you can act like you're just coming in the room or whatever. Hi Jessica, how are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. My name is Amanda, and I understand that you have some issues that you have been troubling you. Just one thing I like to let my new clients know is that we do have confidentiality, and the only time that someone can view what is said here is if you sign a consent form.
Okay.
And with that being said, I hope you'll be open-minded and open to suggestions, and maybe we can help you with some of your issues.
Great.
So,
Should I
do you want to start?
All right. The biggest thing that I'm dealing with right now, I have a 7-year-old son. He is an only child. He's a mother's boy, totally, and he's spoiled. Now, for the last 7 years, he's been totally babied. Okay? Everything done for him, baby. Now it's starting to reflect in school. The teacher's noticing he doesn't like to do anything for himself, and he's not self-confident.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I don't know. I know where I've gone wrong with the discipline but I don't know how I should approach fixing it.
Now, do they have a counselor at the school?
They do.
Have you discussed this issue with her?
No, I have not.
Or him, I guess I should say. Okay. Now, have you had a meeting with the teacher? Is this how you found out?
We write back and forth in his folder.
I see.
And so she does daily reports, weekly reports. And it's not an everyday issue, but she does notice that it is an issue.
It is an issue. And it could become more of an issue.
And that's what I don't want. And
yeah.
the discipline is getting out of control.
For you mean?
For me, yes.
Okay. Well, okay. I would suggest at this point that maybe call the counselor. Well, first of all, if it's only been notes that you and the teacher have been, writing back and forth, maybe you could suggest that you would like to have a teacher-parent
Conference?
with her
Okay.
and get some ideas from her.
Okay.
Explain, actually, I guess your side or whatever.
Right.
And what's been going on, and get some ideas off her.
Okay.
Because I believe all schools have a counselor there that is a good resource as far as bouncing ideas off for troubled children or children that are heading that way or that have little issues. Because this doesn't seem to be a really big problem.
No, and he's a good student. He gets good grades, and he's smart, but maybe a little lazy.
Well, and that could be because of Mama always doing everything for him.
It is.
And how old is he?
7.
7, okay. Yeah, you really would probably want to nip this in the bud now,
Well, that's what I'm afraid of. And he's a big kid, and I don't want to be in a yelling match with a 13-year-old boy down the road.
That's a very good point, Jessica. That's a good point, because it could turn that way. Once they get a little bit bigger, they get to a point where they don't want to listen.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to prevent.
Okay, how long has he been, now, is this the beginning of the semester for the children?
They started school in August.
Okay, so, he hasn't been in there too long. Yes, if you feel comfortable with that, I would suggest...
Parent-teacher conference?
Yeah.
And then maybe investigate the counselor.
Yeah, see what the teacher has to say.
All right.
And get a little more input from her.
Right.
As to what's going on.
Exactly.
That'll give you a better idea.
And
too.
she does know, because I've had a conference before this became an official issue, that he is an only child, and he is a mama's boy and baby.
Okay, so she's aware.
She is aware of that.
Now, are you raising your son by yourself?
He sees his father once a week.
Okay, does he have much input on the discipline aspect?
When the child is there, but it's not good enough, honestly. TJ's becoming disrespectful, and that's what I don't want.
Explain, an incident that's happened that,
Okay, if I tell him to stop doing something, put his game up, it's a conflict. And then he'll not put his game up and walk away. And I'll ask him 3 times, put your game up. And he'll build up anger almost.
okay,
Like frustration. He has a lot of frustration that he almost doesn't know how to deal with, is how it seems.
okay, I see what you're saying. Then it probably is, he might need a few sessions. Have you asked him why he's so frustrated, or if he's angry with you?
Yes, and he says he can't help it. That once he gets started, it's kind of hard for him to control. And he does feel remorseful after, because he will say he's sorry and he'll hug me. But it's gotten to the point where it needs to be solved. you
Now,
know.
how long has this been going on?
I would say it's gotten bad over the last 6 months. It's became an issue.
Okay, and you can't think of any incident or something that would cause him to have any type of anger or,
The fact that his father isn't very present, and his father is one of those loud talking, it seems when his father talks, he's always angry, vocally, even if he's not angry.
I
He's
see.
a loud talker, and he's not the most personable gentleman, and I think it's starting to rub off on TJ.
Okay.
But then that's a concern too. How do you deal with that when the father is present in a way? And I mean, how do you tell a child it's not right for somebody to behave that way, but then he sees his father behaving that way?
I see, you've got a problem there, you do, honey. Yeah, I think that would be your best bet. I think you're very smart in wanting to start on this issue at this point, and stop it before it progresses any further. And now would the father be at all open to changing his attitude or the way he presents himself, or does he even realize there's a problem?
No, and he is one of those hard-headed that he will never change. Now, I've even thought about maybe taking TJ to a counselor outside of school. You know, a therapist rather, a setting outside of the school
Which might be better
than in the school.
in the school.
I don't know if they have enough freedom to, I don't know, I've never done it. I don't know if they can suggest openly or if they have boundaries they have to follow because it is a school.
No, I don't believe so, Jessica. I think that you're not going to run into those types of problems. They are, they're not bound by anything. The only time a therapist has to go outside of their profession or notify any types of agencies or anything like that is if they think there's a threat
Okay.
as far as to the child's well-being, or say you were suicidal
Okay.
and they thought you might hurt yourself, or like I say, if you were to sign a consent form allowing someone to view what was said in a session or something like
Okay.
that. And they have those counselors in the schools for these type of issues. In fact, that's kind of their specialty.
So a good starting point would be meeting with the teacher and then going for the school counselor?
Yeah, well, I mean, and again, I would like to urge you to ask the teacher
Okay.
too, because with her being a teacher, she works every day with the counselor, and I'm sure that TJ isn't the only child
Right.
that has an issue like this, or has had an issue like this, and she probably has some really good
Input in the whole
input into the whole
situation.
thing. Yes.
All right. Well, that's where I should start then.
Okay, and then why don't you try that?
Okay.
And if you feel comfortable coming back, we can see what's going on there and see if you need some separate counseling.
Okay.
And
Perhaps
go from
I
there.
do, and I'm
Yeah.
open to that, definitely.
Okay, great.
All right.
Jessica, great.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you come in today.
Thank you. It was nice
Yes,
meeting you.
nice meeting you
Have
too,
a good
dear.
night.
You too, dear. All right, very good. That was about 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Ooh.
That dog.